We'll come to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, our first order of business this evening, after coming to order, is reading and approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting dated September 26, 2023.
I move that we approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and second to approve the minutes of September 26, 2023. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by a like sign, motion carries. Next, reading and approval of the minutes from the workshop dated September 28, 2023, and that was a workshop in which we had three guests who discussed city manager form of government, which we really appreciate. Mark Matkovich, Jenna Belcher, and the former city manager for the city of Oak Hill, Bill Hannabass. So we have a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and second to approve the minutes of the workshop dated September 28th. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by a like sign, motion carries. Next, second reading, public hearing of an ordinance approving the annexation of trail property. Mr. Fowle?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, tonight is the second reading of an ordinance. First reading took place on September 26, and I will read this ordinance by title. And what it does, it authorizes the city of Beckley to annex 613.24 acres, which is currently owned by the West Virginia Land Trust, Inc. It'll be annexed into the city limits of Beckley. It's some trail property, and this ordinance is titled, "An Ordinance Annexing to the City of Beckley 613.24 acres, more or less, located in the Piney Creek Preserve adjacent to City of Beckley and Town District, Raleigh County, West Virginia." At this time, I will open a public hearing and ask if anyone in the audience has any comments either in favor of or in opposition to this ordinance. Appearing to be no comments, I'll close public hearing. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Fowle. This is for those of you who haven't seen it, is a magnificent piece of property. And by the way, this Thursday, I think at 2:30, there will be a formal ribbon cutting during which the representatives of the Land Trust will be here for that little ceremony. But what a magnificent piece of property with two waterfalls, some unbelievable rock formations. So, golly, I just think the future's so bright for that entire area. So, with that, any comments or questions on the ordinance as presented by Mr. Fowle? If not, do we have a motion to approve on the second reading?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and second to approve the ordinance annexing the land trust property as described by Mr. Fowle. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by the like sign, motion carries. Thank you. Now, is Captain Liz from the Salvation Army with us this evening? Yes. Okay, great. Welcome. I've heard you on the radio station a few times. You really do a great job.
Well, thank you, and thank you for allowing me to be here tonight to give the city an update on one of the most exciting things that I get to come in the most exciting time to be a part of, which is, of course, our new building on Robert C. Byrd Drive. If you know where the Sheets is, you know that it was a mud pit for a long time, but now a building is rising up out of there. And I just wanted to give you an update on the status of that building and also ask for your continued support of what we're doing at the Salvation Army. Of course, our mission is to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ and to meet human need in his name without discrimination. And so the Salvation Army stands in a place to be able to help hundreds of kids and adults at this new facility. And one of the most exciting things about this space is this is the first ever Boys and Girls Club in Raleigh County. It's pretty exciting, yeah. This will be a place where kids can come to focus on academic excellence, to have their character be developed and refined, and to give them opportunities, because we believe in the Salvation Army that bright futures start with our youth, but we also want to see those bright futures stay. And in the Salvation Army, we believe in community, and that's what we're all about, is investing in the next generation. And so through this Boys and Girls Club, the academic homework help, the athletics, you'll see on our building, a huge part of that building is the gym, and that's where we want to use for every kid to have an opportunity to develop skills, new skills, to refine skills, and to really become productive members of our community. We want these kids to graduate high school, and we want them to stay, to have jobs, to give back, to mentor. And so I'm here tonight pleading for your help to link arms with the Salvation Army, as I know that you've done, and I thank you for that. I just moved here in June, and I've been welcomed by so many people, and so thank you for that, and thank you for believing in a place where kids can come Monday through Friday after school every day, and to be influenced in a positive way to succeed. And so I'm asking if you could help us with $15,000 to sponsor these kids that will be at risk, that have a hard time, whether through their family situations and finances, to be able to sponsor half of our club. We're starting with 50 students because we want to do for one what we can do for all of them. And so we believe that 50 is a manageable number. And so half of those kids would be 25 students that would be fully sponsored their first year in that Boys and Girls Club. And I believe through that investment, we're going to see that tenfold as those kids mature and develop, and possibly maybe even take one of these seats here in this chamber. And so I would love to answer any questions that you would have about the progress of our building. I'm really itching to get in there like now, but there's things like air conditioning units and things that are out of my control that we're waiting on, and when all those pieces get into place, that piece of property on Robert C. Byrd, I believe, is going to make lasting change for the next 90 plus years. The Salvation Army on Fayette Street's been here for 96 years. And so I look for the next 96 to continue to have even more of an impact here in Beckley. So any questions or anything?
Any questions of Captain Liz? So if I understand, your request would be for $18,000? Is that what you said? 15,000?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
If you got it, we'll take it.
My daughter's an audiologist, and I'm going to have to get an appointment with her because I didn't understand exactly what you said.
That's okay, yeah. That's what the ask is.
Okay, because that's not an agenda item this evening, I think it would be appropriate if you could send a short note making that request, and then we'll place it on the agenda at the next meeting
Yeah,
for consideration.
absolutely.
Would that be good?
Sure.
Okay, any other questions of Captain Liz?
Just a comment. I've had an opportunity to meet with you, Captain Liz, as you know, and we've talked about some items in parade. And I think what I really love about your energy is that it's not just boys and girls. You know,
Right.
Matthew 25:35 about feeding the poor. You're committed to all of the social aims of that organization, and we're so appreciative that you're going to have a place that sort of reflects your energy. It's going to be terrific.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Salvation, a lot of people think of us with Boys and Girls Club, with Christmas, Angel Tree,
Right.
but you're 100% right. We do the whole gamut of utility assistance, rental assistance, food pantry, and we're 100% locally funded. And I tell people all the time, when you put $1 in that red kettle, it stays in the zip code in which you give. And a lot of people don't know that because we are a big organization in 138 countries around the world. But everything we do is grassroots from the local community, and so we appreciate your support in seeing this thing happen. So thank you.
When are you looking to open the building up, grand opening and all that?
So we're looking for the grand opening. Will probably be in February. I'm having I call it my pre-party because I'm so excited. Veterans Weekend. You'll see us in the parade. We're gonna have a dinner, and we're gonna have just a little ceremony at our parking lot because we're not allowed to be in the building yet until our HVAC unit gets in. And because of supply chain issues, that unit will not be delivered to our facility until December the 1st at the earliest. And so when we do all the testing and getting everything up and running, we're looking at a January start for the Boys and Girls Club. And I'm hoping to have kids in the building January 2nd. And I'm pushing with that, and we're really trying to make that happen because these supply chain issues are driving me. This is all gray hair I've had since I've moved here with this building project. So hopefully January.
The Salvation Army, they've been my neighbor down at the store for years and years. And the first day I met Liz, she came in and I saw this beautiful smile on her face. And I knew Beckley was in for great things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I thank you for, the Salvation Army for choosing you for our location. And I think there's a lot of people in this room that have a lot of faith in you.
Amen. And if anyone wants to get connected in more with the Salvation Army, with the Boys and Girls Club, I'm looking for mentors, folks to come in, mentoring students one-on-one, but also collectively. If you have a gifting in working with kids, please contact me, get my card or whatever. I'd love to connect you in because I do believe that it takes all of us to raise that next generation. And so please, come be a part of our army, literally, the Salvation Army, and join what we're doing, for sure.
Very good. Along those lines, I think we have at least 2 board members who are city employees
Absolutely.
who are with us this evening.
Absolutely.
Leslie and Jill, if I'm not mistaken. So, and Tom's a board member.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah. Thank you all.
I have a story that I can't shake from my past. I was uptown when I was a teenager and walked by one of the cattle booths.
Yeah.
And there was a steel hoop there that would hold the cattle. And somebody had bent it down so it was flat with the building. Well, I thought that was disgraceful. So I got the hoop and put it back upright. But when I did, it broke. So the next morning in the paper, there's a little headline that said, "The cruelest vandal of them all." I was trying to do something good.
You tore it up. Yep.
Just, that's kind of the story of my life, really. So anyhow,
Chief, the statute of limitations has expired.
let's go.
Now we know.
Yeah.
Now we know. I'll have to look for that newspaper article. That's so interesting.
Yeah, the cruelest vandal of them all. I'll never forget that. Anyhow, thank you, Captain Liz.
Well,
And
thank
if
you.
you'll send us a note, we'll go to work on that.
Absolutely. Come down, check out the new building sometime.
All right. I was there for the groundbreaking and said a few words way back when. It was cold. It was quite cold. Yeah. Okay, next. Discussion and action by council regarding the additional financial support of $38,500 for the New River Transit for membership dues, which have not changed in 40 years. And I think I gave a fairly impassioned plug for the New River Transit at our last meeting. They do a magnificent job. They have a portion of their program that specializes in helping those under recovery come and go to their doctors and other treatment rehab centers and so forth. But if you look around the city of Beckley and just how active and how busy this transit system is and the wonderful service they provide, I would be in favor of making every 40 years. I don't think it hurts to increase your dues payment a little bit. So we have 2 ladies from NRT this evening. Heather, would you all like to say anything else?
I just came in case there was any questions or concerns, or I'll get up and talk to you guys all over again if you want me to.
Well, we'll probably pass on that unless anybody has Does anybody have any questions? Okay.
The only comment I have is, if our recording treasurer has this money that he can spare for this, membership increase, I would be all for it.
Good, great. Mr. Trump, any comments on our ability to take this?
$38,500 is not an insubstantial sum, but I believe we can probably find that in our budget to support the transit system. Because, and there's some other things in the pipeline that we may be able to support the transit system with. But until we know the full details, we can't really discuss that. So I think we can do it, and we're looking forward to maybe some manna from heaven.
Good. And without disclosing too much, I'm sure you're probably alluding to the opioid settlement and the fact that a portion of what they do is involved in that type
Yes.
of work.
I
Yeah,
can even
so-
confirm it tonight.
Good. All righty. Any other discussion or questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to increase our,
I'll make a motion.
okay.
Second.
Have a motion second to increase our due support to NRT of an additional 38.5. Any other discussion or questions? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed by a like sign, motion carries. Thank you. Down to old business. Do we have anything from council under old business? It's only a couple of days old, but I'd like to compliment Jill Moorfield and the City Police Department, Public Works, Fire Department for your great chili, and everybody who played a hand in making chili night just a couple nights ago so successful. We were up there for a couple of hours. The crowd was great. I understand from Chief Bailey that there were no incidents. We were, after being up there for a couple of hours, Barb and I were leaving, and Chief Bailey was on foot patrol around the perimeter of the city to make sure that we didn't have any ne'er-do-wells playing any tricks on us. So anyhow, but for everybody involved, we thought it was great. Weather was perfect, and as I told Jill today, I think the chili was better by everybody who participated this year. And I'm just a guy who would know, so anyhow, you have to take my word for it. And I had a couple things that don't come to mind right now. Does any member of council have anything under old business?
I just want to congratulate Councilman Attorney Dunlap. He received an award last week from Away, attended the domestic violence vigil last week at the Raleigh County Playhouse. And you might want to tell them about the award that you received. I just want to say congratulations.
Thank you. The Inside Hope Award is almost always given to the amazing men and women of law enforcement because they step up and make sure that folks who are subjected to domestic violence have a voice. And I can't say enough amazing things about Cuervos. I know you get tired of hearing it, but normally it's earmarked for prosecutors and for law enforcement. I'll be frank with you, I kind of accepted on behalf of the late Kyle Lusk because when I first started practicing law here 20 years ago, Kyle, I would see him take women who'd been abused, traditionally females, and represent them for free and do that pro bono. And he'd recently passed, and you know his wife and his family, I grieve for them because Kyle was a character, but he was very quietly a giver, and people didn't know that. But the way ladies would always say that Kyle and I were the only attorneys in town that would take those cases for free. Because one of the worst exploitations and abuses that occur are often the spouse who has more money. That makes it very clear that if you leave me, if you try to stand up for yourself, I will make sure you are disenfranchised and you don't get the kids and you will be homeless. And so I think it's important that all folks in the system step up and do what they can. And I was honored, but it pales in comparison to what those ladies, predominantly women in that organization, do every day. It's heart-wrenching. And I thank the law enforcement officers of our community because there's been a huge shift in the 20 years I've practiced law here. I mean, just in the fact that we believe victims and we do what we can to make them feel supported. So thank you for the climate and culture that you encourage in your department to help all these folks. So I really am accepting it on behalf of two folks, the late Mr. Lusky and myself.
Very good. Congratulations,
Thank you.
Robert.
I appreciate it.
It's an honor. Anything else from any member of council under old business? Anything from any member of council under new business?
Mayor, I have a few items. I want to thank Pam Fry and Board of Public Works, but it took a concerted effort by Christina Baston and your group that had a litter sweep on September 30th. Christina, I want to thank you. I want to thank Danielle. She picked up all the supplies. Faith in Blue had one this past Saturday, David Bailey. That was wonderful. And what that has done is it has inspired others to call and have litter sweeps in other parts of the city. And we're having a big litter sweep on Dry Hill Road next week. It's a real curvy area, but when people see people with litter grabbers and safety vests picking up trash, it inspires others to be involved. And so thank you for that. So Board of Public Works picks up the items. Thank you, Pam, for sending your staff. The state pays the tipping fee, so you've got local citizens. You have the city and you have the state all working together for the greater good. I did get a call from a constituent, just to put a bug in your ear, that Truman Avenue in Missouri would like to be paved. If you could visit that next paving season, and that call came to me on October the 5th.
I think we've looked at Missouri already.
Beg your pardon?
I think we've looked at Missouri already.
Oh, you have for next year? Okay.
Yeah.
I will let them know.
Anything else from any member of council under new business?
You're welcome.
I'll reiterate that we will celebrate Halloween on the traditional Halloween day, October 31st. We will observe the same hours that the county is, from 5 to 7. And Mr. Fowler, do you have any comments?
No, Mr. Mayor, I've got my costume picked out.
Good.
Good shape.
Good.
Thank you.
Anything else from any member of council under new business? Okay, we're down to public comments. We have two people signed up. Mary West. Mary, if you'll take the podium and give us your 3 minutes, that would be great.
Good evening once again. And once again, I would like to know what's gonna happen with LaRue Avenue. And I see where they put some things out, and someone came back along and took the padding out of them for the potential of putting speed humps or bumps out. So I wanted to know what was going on with that. And also, our light that we've had for years at the end of LaRue and Eisenhower, I've spoken about it before, that when you are leaving off LaRue Avenue, making a left-hand turn on Eisenhower, you get an arrow to make that turn. Those on the other side, making a right-hand turn, do not have an arrow at that time, but they are taking the privilege of turning on us when we're trying to turn on the arrow. So could someone, if it's not the city, it's the state, could someone contact the state and ask them to put up a sign that let them know on that other side that you only turn on a green arrow? Because someone's gonna get hurt. I mean, I've been cussed at, I've been said, B, you got to wait on me. You know, that's what they're doing down there. So I don't wanna get hit at the light or on my street. So can someone enlighten me on what's gonna happen with LaRue?
I was there this morning, I agree. The leading green, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chief, the leading green does have the right-of-way. Even if, under normal circumstances, a car approaching an intersection and turning right, if there's nobody coming ahead or the other driver doesn't have a leading green, then the fellow turning or lady turning right does have the right of way. But I agree with you, the leading green, that's why they have it, should be predominant there. So now regarding and we've had a number of discussions about speed bumps and speed humps, and we asked the Department of Highways, and this is what you probably saw in terms of a traffic count and speed study. We've had that done. We don't have the results yet. We expect those any day now. We're reviewing an ordinance, which I'm informed by Mr. Fowle that an ordinance which would amend our traffic control map would be required if speed bumps were deemed to be appropriate. We have an ordinance from a larger city in Florida with some pretty strict regulations, and we're looking at that now. But for anybody, it's like, I have a good friend who's a mayor of a city north of us, and I'm not going to mention his name, and I'm not going to mention the town, but it's kind of known as the speed trap of the world. Now, I've been stopped there twice over the years. We had kids in school in Morgantown, and I was a little lazy coming back. And anyhow, I don't want Beckley to be known as the speed bump capital of the world, because we can't offer speed bumps to everybody just on a helter-skelter basis that requests speed bumps, because everybody thinks they need them. And for everybody who, like yourself, who wants one, you're going to have some neighbors who are coming and going. They may not want to drive over the speed bumps as they're going to the.
Well, my thing to Mr. Ball with that.
Okay.
But we had speed bumps there, in all due fairness, they were there before, and they were taken out.
Okay,
I
well-
brought my home, so why we can't have them back again?
Yeah. Well, again, it would take an ordinance. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you all.
Uh-huh.
Just give me some help, please.
Sure. Tom Mosley.
Afternoon, evening.
Howdy.
All right, I guess I'm gonna beat a dead horse a little bit myself here. I know we've talked about speeding. It's an issue throughout a lot of areas in Beckley, and we have been pushing Whole Street. I've got my neighbors Lane and Greg up here that can attest to what we go through on a daily basis. I've had several conversations with the mayor and several members of council and Chief Bailey over the last couple of months, and I do appreciate those conversations. I know the last time I was up here, we talked about this having to be an ordinance. So I wanted to see what we needed to do next to get this ordinance on the books to lower the speed limit. I don't know that 15 will stop the problem, but it's an awareness issue. If they're going 40 at 25 miles an hour, maybe we can get them to at least do 25 with 15 miles an hour. But again, it's a safety issue. It affects several houses through the Whole Street area, and it's used as a major throughway. Folks go from Kanawha up into East Park and back and forth, and there's a few buses that I guarantee you clock 50 miles an hour through there. So again, if you folks can look into this and kind of let us know maybe what the next steps are, it would be appreciated.
Sure. It's under discussion. I assure you of that. I spoke with our city attorney, over the weekend, as a matter of fact. So we should have an update on that for you soon.
Mayor, at one point, it might have been several years ago, we talked about that 15-mile-an-hour speed limit on all kinds of streets around town, where they're like in the middle of neighborhoods, like on Bowling Edition, and the whole area over there is like conducive to having a bunch of kids and, people walking their dogs in the middle of the street, things of that nature, where maybe we need to have take a real good look at these 15-mile-an-hour speed limits in these, closed neighborhoods. I mean, I don't know if it's enforceable, but like Tom just said, if it's posted at 15 and they go 25, at least they're not going 35, because that 10-mile maybe grace period or something. So I would be in favor of an ordinance,
And I don't know where the chief, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know where the 25 mile an hour citywide speed limit came up, but it's been that way for a long time. And again, as you're saying, if you drive 25 miles an hour, even in a crowded neighborhood, in my opinion, it's safe. But as Tom says, as you say, if we post on certain streets 15 miles an hour, maybe just the fact that that sign's up there could possibly could slow things down. And I'll have to admit, I live in the 500 block of Woodlawn, and forever, as far as I can remember, Bill Fowle may correct me here, it's been posted at 15 miles an hour. But we get some crazy people that drive a heck of a lot more over 15 miles an hour at times, and drive a heck of a lot more over 25 miles an hour at a time. Bob, you've seen it.
Yes.
Particularly at night. It's kind of a thoroughfare. So anyhow, these are things that we'll certainly take under consideration. And
I mean, even Main Street, it's got 25 mile an hour on Main Street, and that's too fast.
yeah.
It's too fast.
Okay. Well, we'll certainly take that under. Mr. Fowle might be writing a bunch of traffic control ordinances here before it's over. He's pretty good at that. Any other? Anthony, do we have anybody signed up to speak?
We do have a couple of members in attendance online.
Okay, I'll read the instructions in case they want to make a comment. For public comments, if calling in by phone, dial *3 to raise your hand to be recognized to speak. If connected by a computer, click the hand icon on your participants panel. So with that, Anthony, do we have anybody who?
It doesn't appear anybody raise their hand.
Okay, very good. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Stand adjourned. Thank you, everybody.